twisted.
I was a drug addict. I had a $400 a day cocaine addiction. I didn't really believe in God, to be honest, growing up. My mother would take me to Mass like once a year, and that was like Easter, and then sometimes on a Christmas Eve, she would take us. But I grew up without a father. My father used to beat my mother, and my only memories of my father were of the last time he beat her, and I was 3.5 years old and I was 10 feet away. And so I grew up with that image in my mind, and without having a father in my life, a father figure to be there for me. And so at 14 years old was the first time that I tried cocaine. 12 years old was the first time I thought about suicide. I was a fat kid growing up, never got picked for any teams. As you can see, I don't look like Brad Pitt, you know what I mean? And I just grew up, I always struggled with a weight problem, and people made fun of me a lot. And so I got put down quite a bit, and drugs were a way of coping with that. It was a way for me to deal with the pain. By the age of 21 years old, I had a $400 a day cocaine addiction, and by the middle of by right around 22 years old, I was a 4-time convicted felon by the age of 22, and there wasn't a day that went by that I didn't think about committing suicide. I stole from my own mother to get high, a mother that did nothing but love me and be there for me, but drugs had a hold of me. And 3 years before my 21st birthday, my mother met this lady that took her to church. My mom was so desperate looking for help from me that this lady said, "You need to come to church and hear about Jesus." And my mom went, and my mom gave her life to Christ, and she came back and she would always tell me about God. And anyway, one day I just decided that I was done living. At the age of 22, I decided that I was done living and I was going to end my life. I was tired of hurting my mother. And I took a lethal dose of cocaine to stop my heart. And my mother had a mother's intuition. She left work and came home. She wasn't supposed to be the one to find me, but she left and came home because she felt something was wrong. And as she walked in, I tried to walk over to her to tell her how sorry I was for breaking her heart. And I took about 2 steps, and then I had a heart attack in front of my mother on her living room floor, and she was screaming and crying out to this God in heaven that I didn't believe in. And in the back of the ambulance, I felt the power of God, and I said, "Jesus, would you save me?" I said, I don't know how to pray. I don't even know a Bible verse. I don't know what to say to you, but if you could make some sense out of my words, then I would gladly give my life to you tonight. And that was the first time in my life that I ever felt like I got picked. And it was the first time in my life I ever knew the love of a father. And I started going to church with my mom, and there was this youth pastor that spoke into my life, and he began to mentor me and tell me more about Jesus. And today I'm a husband that honors my wife, Lori, and I'm madly in love with her. We've been married 8 years, and after 8 years of marriage, my wife still gives me butterflies in my stomach when I look at her. I'm a father that loves my kids more than life itself. And 7 months ago, I led my own father to Jesus, and God did that for me. But that's where I was, and this is where I am now, and that's how powerful God is.